It was a sunny morning at the temple when the young student approached the master weaver. The student was eager to learn the art of weaving, having heard of the master's great skill. "Master, I wish to learn the art of weaving from you. Will you accept me as your student?" asked the young man. The old weaver nodded slowly. "Very well, I will teach you, but you must agree to do as I instruct without question." The student readily agreed, and the two sat down at the loom. The master handed the student a shuttle and showed him how to pass it back and forth, threading the warp threads through the weft. After some time, the master said, "That is enough for today." The student looked puzzled. "But master, I've only done a few rows. There is still much to learn." "Patience, young one. This is but the first stitch in the grand tapestry of skill. Return tomorrow and we shall continue." Though disappointed, the student bowed respectfully and left. The next day, the student returned to the temple, eager to weave more. But again, after just a short time at the loom, the master ended the lesson. "Master, I am ready to learn more," pleaded the student. "Why do we stop when I have just begun?" The master replied calmly, "It takes many years to become skilled at any craft. You must learn to walk before you can run." This went on day after day. No matter how much the student begged to do more weaving, the master would have him stop after just a few rows were completed. After a month of this, the frustrated student could no longer hide his impatience. "Master, you promised to teach me the art of weaving, yet you will not let me progress past these beginner steps. I am ready for more." The old weaver looked at him steadily. "And that, young one, is precisely the problem. Your mind is reckless and impulsive. You lack discipline and patience." The student looked down, ashamed at the truth of these words. The master continued, "To master any skill, one must lay down the proper foundation, stitch by patient stitch. Only then can the grand tapestry take shape. The shuttle must pass back and forth countless times before a cloth appears. Such is the nature of craftsmanship." Chastened, the student nodded. "You are right, master. Please forgive my impatience and foolishness. I am ready now to apply myself diligently to these beginning steps for as long as required." So, the student continued to practice under the master's watchful eye. Back and forth went the shuttle, thread after thread in simple rows. There was no complex pattern yet to behold, but the student found calmness and focus in the repetition. Weeks turned to months in this way. After a long period of practicing just this basic technique, the master finally said, "The time has come to progress further." At last, the student was allowed to move beyond the first rows and start crafting intricate designs. The master guided his hands, showing him how to interlace colors and textures to create vivid scenes. As the student's skill grew under the master's patient tutelage, his hands moved with increasing confidence and grace. The plain cloth was transformed into a landscape rich with forests, streams, and mountains. One day, upon completing a particularly challenging motif, the student stepped back to admire the tapestry that was taking shape. "It is beautiful," he remarked. "I could not have conceived such intricacies when I first arrived." The old weaver nodded approvingly. "Now you understand. Mastery requires practice and perseverance, but the patience required to perfect each basic stitch yields far greater rewards in the end. Had I let you rush ahead impulsively, you would have ruined far more threads than you created." The student bowed low before the master in humility and gratitude. "Truly, your wisdom has guided my hands, as the shuttle guides the thread. I shall not forget this lesson." From that point onward, the young weaver worked with focus and diligence. No longer in a hurry to rush ahead, stitch by stitch, row by row, his skill grew. Years later, having fully mastered the art of weaving, the student created tapestries of such sublime beauty that people traveled from all over the kingdom to admire them. All because he had learned the art of patience from a wise old master. This is Narrative Dreamscape. Thanks for watching.